From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Last evening, residents gathered for a listening session held by U.S. Army officials. The topic was the massive force structure reduction that could possibly affect Fort Wainwright. By the year 2017, the Army plans to reduce at least 8 brigade combat teams, decreasing the Army by nearly 80,000 soldiers.
The community was out in full support of Fort Wainwright last evening during the listening sessions. Many of the comments had the same theme, at least here for the interior.
You know, we definitely don't want to see them reduce their forces, and that we are definitely interested in seeing more, but more importantly that we are here to support them in their actions and their purpose and what they do.
With the reduction plan beginning in 2013, the military value analysis of training, power protection, well-being, geographic distribution, and mission expansion are the main deciding factors that the U.S. Army officials will use. However, if a reduction is seen in the interior at Fort Wainwright, many spoke of the hurt it would cause not only to the economy, but to the community.
It would be huge. I mean, it's not just about the soldiers that are currently here, but they come back. They come back with their families. They come back here to retire. They go to our universities. We put a program in a couple years ago to where now we have counselors right there at the university to help them through to be able to use those credits. We have more programs now so the Vietnam veterans can get jobs. You know, and you don't realize that it's not just the soldiers that you see, it's those that have served many, many years.
There was one topic that Fort Wainwright seems to have in its corner: location.
Just definitely want to emphasize the fact that they have wonderful training here, the largest training facilities in the world, the greatest opportunities to train their units in a variety of climate conditions and geographic conditions.
Army officials from the Pentagon were there as well to take notes. However, they say no matter how many military installations they visit, they receive the same comments.
Every installation feels that their community is better than anybody else's community, but I mean the real factors of that play really more is really the key strategic placement, of which the Army has already realized that. You know, it starts with strategic guidance. So I mean the Army recognizes Fort Wainwright location, strategic guidance. They understand that we're shifting to the Asian Pacific.
Officials do say that all of the comments will be heard by deciding personnel and that the decision will not be easy. Some may feel the impacts as early as this year. However, the process will take up to 4 years to the 2017 deadline.
Every comment will be carried back to HQDA, to the Secretary of the Army, the Chief of Staff, and they'll use those to kind of help them make the tough decision, which hasn't been made yet, but they'll use the community input. That's why we're doing these things.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough School District will be sending out letters to approximately 80 teachers tomorrow and Thursday stating they may be laid off. School Superintendent Pete Lewis sent an email today to district employees stating that the letters are a result of a funding shortfall. The letters are coined doubtful status, not actual terminations. Until a precise budget is made, the cuts may be made as well. District officials presented their budget to the Borough Assembly last week and will be voted on next month.
Fairbanks police today released results of an autopsy performed on a man injured in a fire at the downtown post office on New Year's Day. 59-year-old John Druck Wallace died January 5th at a Seattle hospital. The autopsy conducted by the King County Medical Examiner's Office listed the cause of death as thermal burns. The manner of death is listed as undetermined, and police are still asking for the public's information as they continue the investigation.
A Fort Wainwright soldier who was hurt in an accident in January has succumbed to his injuries while being treated in Texas. 21-year-old Specialist Zachary New, an infantryman formerly with the Fort Wainwright Stryker Brigade, died April 22nd at the Veterans Hospital in San Antonio. New was injured January 29th when he was hit by a truck pulling a trailer in the parking lot of the Midway Lodge. New was hit while he and other Stryker Brigade soldiers had pulled over to take a break during a convoy from Fort Wainwright to Fort Greeley.
The body of a man missing since Valentine's Day was found yesterday. State troopers say 27-year-old Kyle Reese was located in a wooded area near an abandoned vehicle that was parked at the end of a secluded cul-de-sac. In mid-March, Fairbanks police had requested the public's help in locating Reese, who hadn't been in contact with his family members since February 14th. Now, troopers have not released the manner in which Reese died and say an investigation into the matter is still ongoing.
3 people were injured, one seriously, in a fiery 2-vehicle accident Monday afternoon that closed the park's highway near Nenana. Investigators say a southbound tractor-trailer pulling an oversized load was traveling in bound north and southbound lanes of the Little Goldstream Creek Bridge, causing northbound traffic to stop. A northbound pickup driven by 57-year-old Darla Coghill of Nenana came to a sudden stop and was struck from the rear by a sedan driven by 52-year-old Minor Smith, also of Nenana. The collision reportedly caused the truck to burst into flames, but all occupants were able to escape their vehicles.
All right, well, when we come back, a rabid wolf is found in an area of Alaska that has never been seen before.
And also, the Bee Gees have a healthcare hit. Those stories are next. Stay with us.
This edition of the Fairbanks Evening News is brought to you by Spadard Builder Supply, Denali State Bank, your community bank, and by Napa Alaska Stores, Napa Know-How.
Welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. The annual meeting of the Golden Valley Electric Association Cooperative is set for Wednesday evening at the Carlson Center. Registration is from 5:30 to 7 p.m. and account holders will need to show an ID. The business meeting starts at 7 with a discussion of plans and projects and member comments. The main issue is expected to be the high cost of energy and what's being done to deal with it.
More than 40 people in Bethel protested against the managers of the state's fisheries yesterday, with the message being, "We want our salmon back." The protesters marched in response to last year's fishing restrictions on the Kuskokwim River. More than 60 fishermen allegedly defied those restrictions, and many are currently fighting for the right to fish based on religious grounds. Last week, the state made the historic ruling that said subsistence practices are connected to spiritual beliefs and entitled to religious protections.
To be honest with you, in 20-plus years of working up here, I was taken aback and surprised by the state's concession because, you know, this issue is relatively novel in the state.
A wolf shot in interior Alaska has tested positive for rabies, the first animal to test positive for the virus so far inland. The wolf was shot in late March after approaching a trapper in the Channelar Lake area about 180 miles north of Fairbanks. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game is hoping to collect tissue samples from any wolf, wolverine, fox, or coyote killed in the Channelar Lakes portion of a region called the 40-mile area to determine whether this was an outbreak of the virus or an isolated incident. Transmission of the virus generally comes when an infected animal scratches or bites another animal. However, humans can be infected with any contact from dead or alive animals.
What we don't know is there more of it there and has been all along, or has the disease moved there? So we're asking hunters and trappers or anyone else who's been in the area to let us know if they've seen any unusually behaving wildlife. Animals that might be normally afraid of people approaching people or staggering or not behaving in what you would consider a normal manner.
At some point in your life, you may have to offer cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR to assist another suffering from a cardiac event. Even if you are certified in the technique, it's often hard to remember the proper beats per minute to apply life-saving aid. More now in this week's Health Report. Yes, the 2 athletes on stage are demonstrating hands-only CPR. And yes, they're using a disco song as a timer.
Well, the American Heart Association's put together a program called Hands-Only CPR. And this is a super easy way for people to learn how to do CPR and not be afraid to do it when they need to do it.
Standard chest compression should be attempted at a speed of 100 beats per minute, almost the same speed as the beat of the 70s Bee Gees classic, coincidentally titled Staying Alive. Though connection to the disco hit is humorous, performing hands-on CPR can increase survivability of cardiac arrest patients by as much as 3 times than with no CPR applied at all. CPR training officials recommend always following safety protocols before attempting any form of CPR.
When you see someone that needs help, you call 911, and then you put one hand in the center of the chest, and you push hard and fast to the beat of Staying Alive. So who knew that disco could really save lives?
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building. Call 456-7768.
And while Stephanie tries to find the beat, we'll talk with
Staying
Darryl Lewis
alive,
right now.
huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Throwback.
That's a nice segue into what we're about to talk about, because the Fairbanks Ice Dogs did a little staying alive of their own, huh?
Oh, okay.
Like that,
I
huh?
like that.
Y'all come on back. We'll talk about it. Sports is coming up next. And welcome back, Interior Alaska. Darryl Lewis here in the sports seat for you on a Super Tuesday evening. I'm in here for Joe Cook. Hope you're having a good day. And if you're a Fairbanks Ice Dogs hockey fan, yeah, you're feeling pretty good right now. Now, you all know what we're leading with. Boy, tongue-tied. No secret at all. The Fairbanks Ice Dogs in an elimination game, coming through in the clutch late when all seemed to be going against them. A 3-2 Game 5 classic win, and shortly before he got those wisdom teeth pulled, the young man, Mr. Cook, was at the Dipper and has the highlights.
Came out highly focused and motivated on their home ice for Game 5, but Kenai was also honed in. The Brown Bears were the aggressors early, out shooting Fairbanks in the first period 16-4, and they struck first with Albin Carlson's power play goal late in the first at the 18:53 mark. Kenai's momentum and aggression carried over in the second period with another goal, this one by Zach Zulukans. 3 minutes into the second period, 2-0 Kenai. Fairbanks goalie Steve Perry regrouped and shut the door from there, leaving it up to his team's offense. In the final period, the Ice Dogs offense came alive, led by Colton Walter. Check out this amazing assist weaving through the Kenai defense, and he dishes it to Devin Lowe, who puts it in, making it a 2-1 game at 8:53 in the third. Then Walter calls his own number. Nick Hines and Jacob Romo cycle it over to Walter, who gives Marcus Zelzer straight sauce from near the blue line. That ties the game, and the crowd is on their feet in the Big Dip. With about a minute left in the game, the Ice Dogs rally would climax with a Jason Angus goal right on the doorstep. After the Dougie Legrone and Garrett Clement assist, Angus slaps it in the net, and that was it. The Ice Dogs come back from 2 down with 3 unanswered goals in the final stanza, winning the decisive Game 5, which was a classic. Both teams showed excellent sportsmanship and respect after the game, acknowledging and congratulating one another for a classic 5-game series. Perry made 29 saves on 31 shots, and Walter led the Ice Dogs with a goal and an assist, igniting the remarkable third-period run. Angus walks us through the game winner.
It was a good play coming out of D-zone. I had the puck, found Gary wide. He had great speed going down the zone, and Doogie made a great play. Gary made a great play into him, and he drove the net. I was able to pick up the garbage.
First off, my hat's off to Kenai River and the coaching staff, Oliver, through all the guys. Great team. I mean, they competed hard. They did everything they were told to, and it's just one team had to win, and, you know, somebody had to just step up, so it looks like we did it.
Zach Rawl gave an inspiring and stirring speech in the second intermission to uplift his teammates.
No, it definitely gives our team a little bit of identity. I mean, going into that third period, like, Zach Rawl came in, made a big speech, and, you know, the guys really responded. And, I mean, even the second period and third period, I didn't really have to do much. I mean, a little bit at the end there, but, you know, the team played great. Everyone was buying in, blocking shots, and really came through in the end.
Just came from the heart, you know, we're a family in there, and we want to spend more time together, and we knew it wasn't going to be our last period. Anything it took, I just want to get the boys going.
It was incredible. It was probably the best, 20 minutes of hockey I've been a part of as a coach, where like nothing looked good going into the third period, and we were, we didn't have anything going on that power play earlier in the third, and guys just stepped up, leadership stepped up, and is unbelievably proud of our guys right now.
The Ice Dogs win the series 3-2 over rival Kenai, and now face the Wenatchee Wild, number 1 versus number 2 in the West Division Finals.
And thanks, Joe. Now rest up. Finally, Monroe Catholic High School senior and multi-sport standout Michaela Feifeld will no longer have to worry about where she'll be taking her talents once she's done with high school. Feifeld, who has dominated small schools competition in track and field and cross country, on Monday signed a national letter of intent to to attend Carroll College, an NAIA institution located in Helena, Montana. Feifeld, who achieved numerous awards during her high school career and who also was state champion in the 1600-meter run as a sophomore, spurned bigger institutions such as Division II St. Martin's for what she called the small school atmosphere of Carroll. She also says an added caveat centered around the coaching staff she'll be performing for.
It's pretty important. I spent the last 4 years thinking about the future and if I'm going to run it and where I'm going to run. I'm extremely excited about it. I'm super glad that I had the chance to be able to run in college. Well, I love Monroe, and I also wanted a setting just like Monroe, so I thought Carroll would fit me the best. And I also have family in the area. And the coach there actually graduated from Lathrop, so he knows kind of Alaskan runners and how they're trained and the weather they run in and everything.
And congratulations to both Michaela and also the Ice Dogs. And that's going to do it for sports tonight. Thanks for rolling with me for a spell. For more KTVF sports, log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, and download our mobile app, whatever's your flavor. But for now, don't go anywhere because my man, Mr. Mike Schultz, has your full weather forecast coming up next. We'll see ya.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at weather. Have you noticed the clouds are getting thicker and they're starting to lower? That's because we have an ominous sign. We'll tell you about it in just a little bit. And it doesn't look real good, unfortunately. Our photograph tonight is pretty interesting, sent in by Calypso Farms. These are a couple of baby goats that were born out there just a couple days ago. And there's mother taking care of the babies, the kids, and a very nice photograph. If you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com. Right now at the airport, 39 degrees after a high of 46. Overnight low about 15. Record high 66, 1940. 13 below in 1948. And the sunrise this morning was at 5:46. Sunset not quite 10 o'clock tonight, which is 16 hours and 10 minutes of beautiful daylight, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite picture getting a little more interesting than it has been the last few days. An area of low pressure moving here slowly to the northeast. It's also going to be conflicting with a big cold front coming in from the northwest from Siberia. The two of them will be matching up around the Fairbanks area and giving us a chance of, dare I say it, but yes, snow. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. What's going on across the rest of the state today? Well, we're going to talk more about that, and we'll tell you about right now. The temperatures are very cool across the southern half of the country, the state, and not too bad across the central plains. But let's talk about the lower 48 right now and see what's going on there. As you can see, we're looking at over the northwest part of the state. The state's 64 degrees of Seattle, sunshine there. 48 at Idaho Falls, and Denver dropping down to 29 degrees. Elsewhere, moving back across the eastern half of the country, some showers and thunderstorms around Nashville, 63 degrees in Washington, D.C. Over the deep south, looks like showers and thunderstorms around New Orleans. Otherwise, not too bad, 73 in Atlanta. And then moving back to the west, again, looking at warm temperatures there. Beautiful, nice 93 degrees in Phoenix. Not quite as warm as it was in Los Angeles yesterday. On our satellite and radar for today, well, we'll talk about that. And we'll tell you that we are looking again at thunderstorms moving across the central plains, but no snow in the forecast. That's good news. And earlier we were talking about the Alaska forecast. As you can see here, we're looking at showers around the Anchorage area, and then cloudy skies over southeast Alaska, and clouds up and down the west coast. Now, the lower 48 satellite, as I was telling you earlier, there's the snow moving across the central plains. No real organized systems, so no heavy weather expected. What else is happening as far as the jet stream? As you can see, once again, looking at the jet stream coming up the northwest across the central plains, roaring back up the east coast. No real big storms to talk about. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. The northern sections, flurries at Barrow. 2 to 4 inches of snow in Fort Yukon, cloudy skies in Nome. Over the interior, looking at rain early, becoming snow by afternoon for Fairbanks and Haley. 2 to 4 inches expected too. And over the southeastern sections, widespread rain for Juneau and Ketchikan. While out to the southwest, we're looking at scattered clouds at Bethel, Cold Bay, and Kodiak. And over the south central regions, they've had snow all day long, but just cloudy skies expected tomorrow at Anchorage, and mostly cloudy skies in Homer and Valdez. Kids are taking a week off this week, and we'll be back with them again next week. We're giving you weather facts, and tonight's weather fact, in 1885, 23 inches of snow buried Denver, Colorado. And our children next week that'll be visiting with us will be from the Chinook Charter School. All right, here's your forecast for tonight. Like I said, it's not real encouraging. 22 for the overnight low, much warmer than it was last night. And then we're looking at cloudy skies, rain and snow becoming snow by afternoon. Like I said, 2 to 4 inches as possible. And the 5-day outlook, again, looking at temperatures warming back up again. That's kind of encouraging. To 40 degrees, so we'll melt all that snow we're going to be having. And then maybe a chance of again some more snow on Sunday. Overnight lows will also be very comfortable once again around 20 degrees, and that's pretty consistent across the way. Just couldn't get into that springtime mode yet, but I'm not giving up on it yet.
Almost there. All right, well, thank you, Mike. But before we go tonight, I want to make sure to announce the winner of the Win with Woodard contest was Linda Brown. So congratulations, Linda. You get a $350 gift certificate to Pristine's.
All right, very good. And with that, we're going to say goodnight. We'll see you back here at 11.
Good night.